All right. Take two. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this new format on my channel. Do you know this feeling? You scroll online on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, you name it, and you start to feel like everyone and everything has figured out a solution for all of life problems. And you are still here struggling to do your laundry. Everything seems so perfect online. Everyone is successful, everyone is crushing it, everyone is beautiful and on top of their lives, and you are feeling completely behind. But what if struggling, not knowing, frustration, being challenged, and fucking up is actually a big and important part of the creative journey? What if this side of the creative process is largely withheld from you on social media and your feelings of insecurity stem from a distorted sense of perception through social media? Ladies and gentlemen, in DTJ, short for Document the Journey, I am going to document, as the name says, obviously, my own journey as a creative person and frankly as a human being. My goal with this video journal is to document my own journey, the ups and downs that come with it, give you a holistic view of what the creative process actually looks like, and yeah, just process whatever I'm learning and going through by talking about it, and hopefully you can pick up on some valuable lessons and inspiration. In the end, I really just want to show that the creative process is truly both challenging and rewarding. Document the Journey will consist out of the following categories: life updates, life lessons I'm learning, things I'm learning about, and other stuff that's worth mentioning. In life updates, I'm going to give you a brief overview on what my life is like right now, what I'm working on, where I'm planning to go, what my ideas and visions are, etc. In the second category, life lessons I'm learning right now, I'm obviously going to share with you things I'm learning about and stuff that you can hopefully learn from that and apply to your own life. In things I'm learning about, I'm going to share with you valuable insights I am learning from reading books, coachings, podcasts, etc., and share them with you here. So maybe you can get some cool ideas for your next book or a podcast you should listen to, whatever. And other things worth mentioning could be things like business updates, updates on my journey as an athlete, as a calisthenics athlete, and other things that I feel like are worth mentioning. I'm planning to do one episode per quarter, so that would leave us at 4 updates per year. I feel like this is a very cool frequency because it's like not too often, you guys are not spammed, but I still feel like it's often enough that you can actually get an idea of what my journeys look like without like too big of interruptions in between. So yeah, that is what DTJ is all about. Now, without further ado, let's get into the first episode of DTJ. Life updates. So, as some of you know, I've moved to Lisbon 3 years ago, and I basically had probably the coolest time of my life there. Truly, like 2024, I felt like was probably the coolest year of my entire life. I've experienced so much. I got to know so many cool people and just did a lot of cool shit that just expanded my comfort zone, my horizon, etc. So I'm really grateful for this year. 2024-5 was also really cool. However, one thing I wasn't really aware of, I didn't see coming, was just that I was slowly maneuvering into financial depth over the time, and I wasn't really making the most financially intelligent decisions at that time. So I slowly maneuvered into depth. Yeah, which is kind of dumb in hindsight, but I feel like it's necessary lesson I had to go through, because I feel like we are never actually learning about money, or like at least I don't really see that. We don't really learn about money in school. We don't really learn about money from our parents, or at least that was the case for me. We don't really talk about money too much in society, so it's always like sometimes like a little bit of a taboo topic, but it's such an important topic, and financial health is just it should just be something that we are fundamentally aware of and should be working on. Or like, just as your physical health, you should be financially healthy as well, and that is something I had to learn. So long story short, I went back to Germany, to my parents' house just a few months ago, in order to start all over again, gain some stability. The next point I'm working on is I am trying to figure out what my work should be about, or where do I pour my energy and focus into, because we have only so much focus and bandwidth what we focus on. The last couple of years I've been working with personal brands and coaches, etc., and scaling their YouTube channels with them, for them. And I felt like this was doing its job for a pretty long time, and it was it was super cool. It enabled me to move to Portugal and work from everywhere in the world, being location independent, and it paid the bills. And I'm very grateful for what it enabled me to do. However, after a while, I kind of sensed like this is not particularly what I'm here for. Like I felt it kind of started to feel like a little bit empty and a bit draining, if that makes sense. And this is always a sign for me that adjustments need to be made. So yeah, and I don't really know what the adjustments are. Like I have a few ideas, also with what I have figured out through my Ikigai. This is like something which I want to go more towards, because I feel like those are really the things that I'm here for. And yeah, overall, I would say I'm just kind of like missing a little bit that excitement and that spark that comes with working on something that you truly fully behind, that you're really passionate about, and that is really a project that is really dear to me. Let's see how that goes. But yeah, this is something I'm working on. And the last live update is that I am planning to travel the world. This is actually something that has been on my mind for quite a while now, and that I've been working towards for quite a bit. But obviously, first things first, I want to get my finances in order. And once that's the case, obviously I have a free head and a clear mind in order to embark on those world travels. Yeah, and obviously a lot of preparation also goes into that, because I want to make the travels as cool as possible. So I feel like I want to prepare appropriately for that, but then also I don't want to over prepare and then never actually really start, because I'm just too busy preparing myself. So yeah, this is what I'm up to. So let's get into life lessons I'm learning. One, probably the most important thing I've learned throughout the last couple of months is, for me, the importance of community and family. I feel like we are living in a world where that is becoming less and less of value, where families split up, where people are not in touch with their families. And I get it, like sometimes it's just you just don't have a good connection to your family or to your community. But I think family and community are so essential for us. Like up until a few years ago, that was like the standard. Like we used to always live in communities and families, and we're living in such fast times, basically, where we sometimes lose touch to our families and communities. And I believe not being in touch with your family and your community is actually quite dangerous almost, because we become so much more fragile and manipulative if we are lonely, if we're not in touch with actually people that are very dear to us. And if we have a family and community in our back, like we are so much more stable almost, I feel like. And it's just so good to know that people are there for you, that they got your back if something goes wrong. So yeah, that's actually something I've truly come to value a lot over my time here in Germany, how important actually family and community is. that is, in my opinion, largely underestimated in the day and age we live in. So the next lesson I'm learning is people are actually super chill in real life. I don't know if that resonates with you, but I would say I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert. So just a few years ago, I struggled a lot with like social anxiety, actually connecting, talking to people, opening up to people. Yeah, that is something that I've been working on the last couple of years. Back in the times when I was like very anxious, I spent a lot of time on social media, on YouTube, Instagram, and I compared myself to the people on there. And I thought I was just so behind, and like I built ridiculous standards for myself. So I believe actually that the anxiety also stems partially from just from a distorted sense of perception through social media. So yeah, actually, if that resonates with you, I can only encourage you, go out, like engage with people in real life, like talk to people, talk to strangers, start off slow, maybe say something to the cashier, maybe ask a question, and then work your way up to maybe even talking to strangers. Like this has been a skill I've been working on the last couple of years, and it's just so cool to be being able to engage with almost everyone. Like obviously there's always exceptions and people that are probably not fun to hang out with, but that's really the minority. I've figured that there's so many cool people out there. Yeah, super fun to engage and like talk to people and get to know them. So it's just getting off the apps, getting off the platform, and actually get in touch with people in real life. The next lesson that I'm learning is no impact is too small to have. Now, if you are a creative person, if you work on something, you have a tiny business, you have a podcast, a YouTube channel, or just whatever, you might think like, oh, I need to reach hundreds of people and thousands and reach the entire planet and whatnot. At least that's what I thought. I thought I need like hundreds and thousands of subscribers. But it turns out this is really complete and utter bullshit. Like you can reach and just affect one person's life and actually make a change in that person's life. And that's already so much more than you could think it is. Because imagine you would be that person that you have impacted. Like maybe you just change a negative belief from that person, or you gave that person a sense of purpose, inspiration, or direction in their life. And imagine the impact this is going to have for that person down the line, or even for friends and family of that person. Yeah, there's really never an impact too small to have. Recently, I held a workshop where I shared everything I've learned over the years about YouTube through my clients' work, through my own work. And actually, after putting a lot of work into it and marketing it, only one person showed up. And at first I was a little bit disappointed, but after the workshop, this person was so grateful for me holding this workshop. He said like, hey, it was really helpful, and he really appreciates for me to doing that, etc., and dedicating the time to it and helping him out. And somehow I went into bed that night being really happy and content, because I knew like I worked my ass off, but it was good for something, for someone. Like it slightly changed likely this person's life, or at least his approach for his own channel. So yeah, it was made me really happy. So yeah, lesson here, never underestimate the impact you are having. The next lesson is a lesson I really have to learn over and over again, and I feel like I'm not the only one here. I feel like this almost is true for most people, and this is get comfortable being uncomfortable. Maybe you know this. You have a goal in life, and you, in order to reach that goal, in order to make things happen, you need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to move. You need to talk to people. You need to go to the gym. You need to do whatever it takes in order to get to your goal. And you actually start doing these things. You become uncomfortable and you grow, you get better, you reach that goal. And somehow you might get comfortable after a while. You forget that it was not so much about reaching the goal. It was way more setting the goal in order to get you moving, in order to get you out of your comfort zone. But I feel like there's always like phases to it. I feel like there's like this stretching phase where we just stretch ourselves, get more uncomfortable, grow our comfort zone, etc., become better and better. And then sometimes we forget the importance of that. We settle, we become comfortable. The comfort zone slowly starts shrinking again and again, and we actually start to struggle with things that have been in our comfort zone before and that we have been comfortable doing. But through that shrinking, through not actually keeping us at that level, we forget our abilities and the comfort zone shrinks. And then this is the state I'm feeling. I feel I'm right now in, where this zone slowly shrinks and you realize like, oh no, shit, I need to pay attention. I need to get uncomfortable again. I need to push myself. Otherwise, I just keep soft. I keep comfortable, and you want to avoid that, right? So yeah, right now it's really just for me to realize again like what's important in my life, and then really getting uncomfortable for those things, and like get out of my comfort zone, get out of my own way. And yeah, I feel like this is a lesson I had to learn countless times this far, and probably I have to learn it many times over again. And yeah, last but not least, life lesson I'm learning is actually making space for God in my life makes a rich and happy life. Now, over the last couple of months, I have been learning more and more about God, reading the Bible, reading spiritual scriptures, and it taught me so much about it. And I've realized actually the times where I'm closest to God, this is usually the times I'm the most happiest in life. No matter how fancy or luxurious my life is, like it's really just important that I'm close to God, if that makes sense. So yeah, this has been something I've been working on over the last couple of months, if not even the last year. And yeah, it has enriched my life dramatically. A friend of me once told me that our body, mind, and spirit is basically like a temple or like a church. And the more you keep this place clean and take care of this place, the better God can actually enter into your life. So that means if you eat healthy, if you think healthy thoughts, if you pray, if you do things that are good for your body, mind, and soul, actually hanging out with the right kind of people, for example, as well, it really makes place for God to enter your life. But on the other hand, if you let things loose, if you just eat a bunch of junk food, if you don't take care of yourself, God slowly removes himself from the temple or from the church. So yeah, it's really something that I've been learning a lot about recently, and truly is enriching my life. So let's get into things I'm learning about. So first and foremost, I got myself a coach in terms of business and finance, who's helping me in that regard, because obviously that is the biggest challenge for me right now in my life. So I've booked like 8 sessions. We are 5 sessions in, and his support is helping me a lot to reframe my perspective upon business and finances in general. I've gained a lot of new, fresh perspectives on that part, and I've realized like I always thought like, hey, business, finance, etc. It's always like boring. It's always hard. It needs to be hard. I've always associated just that with pain and emptiness, etc. And I'm learning that that truly doesn't need to be the case. You can be playful and have a bunch of fun and make a lot of money while doing it. That's actually what I'm learning a lot about in this coaching. So curious where we're going to be after session 8. Next, I am reading and learning about attention deficit disorder, the origins and healing of ADD, ADHD, Scattered Minds by Gabor Mate. This is a great book for myself right now, because as for someone with ADD, ADHD, it's so valuable to learn about it and actually understand where it's coming from and how I can actually treat it, go about it, and actually understand myself way better and also heal it, right? Like, or like at least go on the journey to like actually handle it, take responsibility for it, and make steps forward. So yeah, great book. If you are someone with ADD, ADHD, or have someone in your have a close person in your life, then I recommend you getting this book. It's a great read. Yeah, that's the first book. Next book I'm reading right now is Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill. Obviously, this is the German version, but you get a point. I'm like halfway in with this book. And the one thing I'm actually taking away from this book so far is like the importance of actually believing in a goal and being very clear on a goal. Because if you're very exact about your goal and like very detailed about your goal, and then you actually start believing into this goal and believing into your business, believing into whatever you are embarking on, then this belief actually creates that reality. And I think we humans always tend to believe like that reality creates belief, but maybe belief is actually what creates reality. So I think this book is kind of like going a bit more into the metaphysical side almost of like wealth and money creation. So yeah, very interesting so far. Enjoying the read right now. I'm very curious for the second part of the book. So yeah. And then obviously going very well hand in hand with the last life lesson is Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. Dude, this book is incredible, honestly. Like it's probably the sickest book I've read so far. It's just so valuable and really helped me to grow closer to God, connect with God, and understand his intentions, or how he is actually functioning, how this reality that we live in is actually working. So yeah, if that's something you're interested about, go grab that book. I believe it's the only book Steve Jobs had on his iPad, and he made sure everyone gets it at his funeral. So I think that speaks volume. Great book. Definitely go get it. Last but not least book, the Bible. Yeah, this is actually, I've started like a few months ago reading the Bible after my sister lent it to me. Yeah, I just felt like giving this a chance and like reading into it. And it's just so interesting to learn about Jesus and what he said, like his teachings, his learnings. You know, this book in combination with Autobiography of a Yogi is just such a great combination, because he's referencing quotes from the Bible as well, because he actually goes ahead and like explains what Jesus meant in certain parts of the Bible. Sometimes when I read the Bible, I'm like not sure if I actually get what Jesus was trying to say or someone else. And reading this book then gives me so much more clarity on what it is about. And then I'm like, becomes like those full circle moments, and it gave me a lot of clarity basically all around like Jesus and God, etc. So definitely a great combination. Well, this is about it for Document the Journey, episode number 1. If you made it this far until the end of the video, actually go write something in the comments that is so sick that you stick around. I don't actually think anyone watched this far, but hey, if you watched this far, man, shout out to you. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I think this video turned out quite long. I'm probably going to look at the next episodes will be shorter than that. But yeah, that's about it for this episode. I hope you have a good one. Enjoy your week. Bye.